Yo, a lot of crazy stuff goes on YouTube. People beefing with each other, and the ability to make videos and the ability to chop up videos and use those videos against each other when there's a contention going on. It could get very interesting. It could get very elaborate. It could get very misdirecting, and it could get very misleading. You could paint the narrative any way you want. Because if it were just like radio or whatever, manipulation of voice and chopping up things that people say, that's one thing. But when you add video to the picture, pun intended, it could make things a lot more deeper. And what I'm getting at specifically is Hassan Campbell and a lot of the videos that go at the man. And it just had me thinking, like, all right, he's had a lot of contention with a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. One of them, you could say, are the threats that he makes to people, right, from his little beefs. Take the most recent situation as of this video, when the man's mother's in the hospital and he got upset and he said he's gonna let the wolves go. We got about 100 people just waiting for the call to be given, and everything like that. I totally get why people that may have mentioned in the past that have a contention, why what I mean, they get heated at that or get alerted or alarmed at that, and want to respond in a certain way. you know um but I was just thinking, man, yo, at the end of the day, making videos at this brother, making fun of his molestation, at the end of the day, you're making fun of a 12 or 13-year-old boy that got molested by a grown man, at least according to the information that came out of Hassan Campbell's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of you may say, oh, well, he's lying. He was really 15. He was really 16 or something like that. Okay, that's a speculation. Maybe you're right. Maybe he is minimizing how young he was and he might have been older. Who knows? However, the closest source to the truth, I would say, would be him. I haven't heard anyone else that came and said, yo, I was there when he first, was in there with Bambada, and yeah, he was like 15. He was 16 already. You know what I'm saying? No, the closest source to the truth is what the man Hassan Campbell has said from his own mouth when he first came out and told his story. And the age that I believe he mentioned was 12 or 13. Let's just say, for sake of argument, let's say 13 at the oldest. You know what I'm saying? That's still about prepubescence, or at least beginning of pubescence, which would count as pedophilia, because a lot of people misconstrue what pedophilia means. It doesn't mean just grown man sex with child. Grown man sex with 15-year-old isn't pedophilia, because it's not prepubescence at that point. That person is already going through puberty. 13 is kind of iffy. 12, it's safe to say that that's prepubescence. Thus, it's pedophilia if a grown person sexually violates someone at that age. And I see all these thighs, Campbell, all this and that. And the thing is, all right, I understand some of y'all are really entrenched in the beef. You know what I'm saying? You got Sarnetta in the thing, who I've been checking way before Hassan, and I still do check them, even though I don't agree with their beef. You know what I'm saying? I would hope that it could get squashed and stay squashed rather. But even he, jumps in the fray, throwing shots at the molestation itself. And I just think it's messed up, because at the end of the day, you're making fun of a 12 or 13-year-old boy that got molested by a grown ass man. If you want to say no, you 16, 17, you don't know for sure. There's still that window of possibility that the man is not lying. And I would think, even if it's a 1% chance that what you're making fun of is actually a 12 or 13-year-old boy that got molested, then it's not worth doing, period. You know what I mean? Now, granted, Hassan Campbell himself, he was drunk and he dropped that, that heavy D line. You know what I'm talking about, Kev Gills. I'm not talking about the overweight lover in the house. The house. I'm talking about dropping heavy D to his son or daughter or whatever it was. That was very foul. Yeah, son was wilding 100% completely. That was completely wrong. By all means, no stretch of the imagination was that called for at all. Now, the reason why he said he did it is basically the same reason of what I'm saying. He was basically trying to say that Kev Gills and other people were making fun of the 12 or 13-year-old him. So he was saying, hypothetically, how about if I, Mr. Grown ass man, 40, whatever years old he is now, takes your 12 or 13 and yada, 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 y'all know the rest. So I understand the psychology that he was coming from, but yeah, still, B, that was hypotheticals, none of, yeah, that shit was just, that was out of there altogether, man. But so yeah, that was wrong. However, is this right though? What people do? Because people have been remixing that sample of when he said that to go against him, right? Now, I don't know if Kev Gills took that and remixed that himself, but did you ever think of this? By you taking that audio clip and playing it over and over and different people remixing it to paint the narrative, or even just telling it like it is, taking the audio clip and saying, yo, it's a hypothetical, but still, he was wild and listen to what he said, and then play that joint. Well, do you ever think about Kev Gill's current 12, 13, or whatever children that he was talking about? I mean, if I were the father of those children, I would not want, if I were Kev Gills, that is, I would not want to hear that audio clip being taken by other people and played over and over again, talking about my child. I would not want to hear that echoed all throughout YouTube. So you want to do it to go at Hassan, but at the same time, you're repeating in a sense, even though it's not coming from your mouth, you're still repeating by putting that video up again, some bad sentiments to that man's children. So even just on the strength of that, I just don't get it. So I mean, sometimes we can get so caught up with a contention that we have to another person that we just disregard other factors. It's like the beef, it could get so intense that it's like nuclear bomb. Boom, you bomb this city, but the fallout hits these other cities. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what I see when that happens. So yeah, to me that stuff is just too crazy. And it reminds me of something else, like with Tommy Sotomayor with the alleged Soto showers. People say that he was showering with his daughter when she was 8, 9. Some people even, put a little 12 on it and everything. But the source who said it, the man who said it himself, he said that he stopped taking showers with his daughter when she was 5. Now, is that way too old to be naked in the tub with your daughter? I think so. Have I seen other examples of people in cultures where they do that at 5 years old, shower naked with their daughter as a man? I've seen some of that. Me personally, I don't think that's right. Yet at the same time, she was still only 5 years old. So he learned to stop it at 5. Yet people say 8, 9, 10, 11. Hassan Campbell getting molested. People say 16, 17, 18. Now, peep this psychology. It's going to be for the real adept to try to walk with me on this, right? Let's say, all right, let's say if I was in contention with a Hassan Campbell or a Tommy Sotomayor, right? Hypothetically, right? We'll use Hassan Campbell, for example. Same could apply to Tommy with the thing with his daughter, right? And I start saying, oh, he saw Bambaataa when he was 16, 17, stuff like that, even though the man said 12 or 13, right? The other people around is going to be looking at the argument. They're going to know that the source himself said that he was only 12 or 13. And here I am putting some cut on it saying he was 16 or 17, right? So let's say I have other issues with Hassan that are reasonable. You know what I'm saying? That are legitimate issues, right? But here I am exaggerating with how old he was when he first saw Bambaataa. So you know what that gives Hassan the ability to do? He gives the ability to just discredit everything I say. He could be like, yo, look, man, this dude's on space. He already saying that I was 16, 17. Everybody knows I said 12 or 13. So then the other stuff I'm saying where I might just have something legitimate of a gripe to say about him, he could just boil that up with the exaggeration. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll just look totally stupid. You know what I'm saying? So even y'all that are in contention with him, you should stick to the best of what you know and not even exaggerate stuff because it could discredit other issues you may have that may be legitimate issues. Same thing with Tommy Sotomayor. I've heard him say, he's like, oh, these people saying that she was 12 and 8 and 9. You know what I'm saying? So then he could boil up some more other stuff that they saying that might be a legitimate gripe. But then all that stuff looks bogus because they're, adding extra years to, the alleged Soto shower thing and all that crap. So yeah, I just thought I'd get on. It's about to hit 10 minutes. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're making fun of a 12 or 13-year-old boy when you make fun of what happened.